buttons, and then your work is done. That's the easiest way to do and maintain the your repositories. The same time also we'll learn the git commands. We'll learn all the git commands manually, how we'll execute, and we'll know about each commands and the role of these commands. Okay, so most of the companies nowadays, what they're doing, they're just moving towards the GitHub. Okay, GitHub. So locally they are using Git, but the developers are now, whatever the tool they are using, whether it is Visual Studio or Eclipse, Java Eclipse, or any tools, everything is now integrated with GitHub plugins, right? GitHub programs. So anything they write and they do whatever, they can just on the button click itself, they do merging, they do code commit, updating, committing, staging, checkout, everything they can do through the tool itself. Okay, they don't have to write any command. So, but we have to know in the back end what stuff is going on. If your funda is entirely totally clear how the repository things works, then you can write anytime anywhere. Okay, so just let me share my screen and we'll just go ahead with the command executions, and I'll show you. I have a cheat sheet, got it from one of the very good website where, one second, get cheat sheet. Okay, so my mouse click sometimes not working. Okay, hope you everyone can see my screen now.
Has it start recording, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
already
yes.
done. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, started.
Yeah. So this source code management already we have discussed what is that. So some theoretical I have written it here. So the downloading part we have already done. We have downloaded. I think everyone has downloaded and installed. So guys, I'm not going to do anything in the Windows platform today. So let me do on my okay. Let's do the Windows platform. Otherwise, so everyone will be familiar with that. Windows. Uh, okay. Okay, let it start. Will not waste time. So when we say, right, we installed after installing the Git, what we have to do first, we'll discuss about the Git command, and then we'll move forward to the uh, GitHub initialization, right? Okay, so what am I going to do here? Let me share my screen again. Sorry, the Git documents. So first thing, actually, we have to initialize
Mm-hmm.
the repository. Okay. So when we create the repository, we have to initialize. Suppose, suppose let me see. Let me just show you in the Unix terminal first. Okay. Just open your Linux machines. Suppose you want to make one folder, one repository. Git repository, or you want to put all your source code. Suppose you are writing a fresh code. Okay, fresh code and fresh project has come and you are going to write, because if already existing code, I'll show you how you can clone it and use that one. If a new code you are going to write, and how you'll do that. Okay, suppose I am in my, suppose here, let me go to my desktop, and here I'm going to create a project folder. Suppose I'm going to create, make my like ABC ABC Proj. Okay, the project name is ABC project. Okay, so let me go to that directory, and I want to make this. This is suppose my application name or the my project name. I want to make this particular folder is my repository. So what I have to do? I have to just simply do git git or git, whatever you say it. Okay, then init, git init. That means we are initializing this repository or this directory as a Git repository. Okay, once you hit entry, it will see what it says: initialized empty Git repository in the, and whenever you see, it creates one hidden folder. It creates one .git hidden folder inside the project directory. Okay, so if you do here ls-l, you don't find anything, right? So what is the command to find hidden directory, guys? Hidden files?
Hyphen
ls
A.
hyphen a.
Yes. So ls-a.
Yeah.
So we can see the hidden directory is there. If you go that directory, you will find lot more other Git related files over there. Okay. See, all these branches and everything will be. So this is the Git application related information. So don't worry about that. We don't have to work on this .git file. Okay. Now in this project, nothing is there. Okay. So what we have to do? So we initialize the Git repository. After that, you have to first make your informations available. Like you have to update your informations in the Git. So to update, what do you have to do actually? You have to simply, there are two commands called the set of user global availability, right? Daily details in the globally. So git config, you have to change the configurations of your git. So what is you have to do? What you have to? This is the initial setup. Once you do the setup, that setup will be done. Will be there forever. Okay, you don't have to do anything. Again, this is not your job. This is not your job, because the administrator will do that. Normally, the administrator they do that. The thing is, nowadays companies, they're expecting the DevOps engineer also to install and to set up the Git for the project. Though it is not our job,
So,
we have to perform this.
uh, sorry, Ranjit. Actually, these things actually at the initial time now we did actually for ourselves.
Yes, that's
Means
why.
right now also those who are joining new, no? So they are also doing. We have the one PDF.
Mhm.
So they are following this actually. So
Okay.
this kind of PDF is there. So they are also doing. Means either developer, or tester, whoever. So they
Yes.
are doing.
So yeah, that nowadays companies actually giving everything to the DevOps engineer or whatever. Actually, it's very easy. It's not a big task that
That's
administrator will
true.
be involved. So it's a very easy task. So because so if you go to join a company, don't worry about that, because the companies already will have this Git installed. But if you are going to join a startup company, you have to do from the scratch. You have to do from the scratch. Even everything you have to install it. You have to initialize it. You have to do some configuration changes, directory setups. Everything you have to do it. And that's why I'm showing it from the beginning, from the configurations to the command executions. Everything I'll show you. Okay. So simple things. If you do that one, what you have to use, just git. Suppose I'm going to use my as git config. Okay, let me remove from here because I already have configured in this machine. Let me just connect to the Windows server. Okay, so
Status yet to come 2 by 2.
it should be
And check fast. Yeah.
okay. So last class, what we had done, we had installed Git here. Let me just go. If you right click anywhere, suppose I want to create a project on my desktop. What you have to do? Let it complete. Okay, what you have to do, you have to simply right click on the desktop, git bash here. Okay, you what you'll do, you'll create it. Otherwise, what you'll do, you can just create a folder in this desktop. Create a folder. Same thing, I suppose a basic project, and here suppose I want to keep all my project DevOps world. Suppose I want to automation files or scripts, everything I have to put it here. Just go there inside. Here git bash here. Okay, simply do git bash here. So if you do git bash here, what will happen? You will be in the BC directly ABC project folder, right? Now you can do git init. Now it is initialized. Okay. So same in Unix style commands we can execute here to view all these. Now what we have to do? We have to just do the config setup, right? Git config config. Okay. So what we have to do? We have to make it as globally, right? So what you have to do? Global hyphen user, suppose Ranjit. Why we need this? Because when we update anything in the code, it will be reflect our name. Okay, every time we do the config changes, you have to do it. Okay, now so let me show you. Acha, user dot name Ranjit dot swine. Okay, suppose let me copy this. Who is going to type all this? What happened? Git config hyphen global user dot name Ranjit dot swine. The same thing we have to do. Git config hyphen global user dot email at yahoo.com, anything. So you have to give your company email ID. Okay, now it is done. So we initialized our and we did a configuration changes. Now let me create one fresh file and we'll see what is the changes. Suppose I'm going to create one project file called suppose vi. I'm using vi editor to do that. Suppose main balance dot Java. I'm going to create a Java file. Okay, hit enter. So let me write something here. Not exactly the Java code. I'm just writing some plain text. Okay.
Ranjit,
So yeah, hello.
actually, can you please do this screen little bit bigger? Like I mean, setup that later front can be. No, 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 no.
No. Yeah, I'll do. I'll
Uh,
do.
Font
yes.
size actually.
It's not there or what?
It should be there. No.
Yes. It's 17, 18 or something. Yes.
Okay. It's not applying.
Then
No,
it will
it's
mention
already
in
done. Yeah, it's already done.
Yeah.
Now we can write something in the script.
Okay. So let me.
Title changed with Unix screen, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's directs it to no. Okay, okay.
Okay. Let me write something here. Okay. Now what I did, I just is this screen okay or if finding some difficulties? Fine. It's okay, right?
No, this is fine, Ranjit. This is fine. Please
It
go
is
ahead.
fine.
Yeah. So what I did, I just created one file. Okay. Here I the file file name is main balance.java. Suppose this is Java related project. I'm writing here the Java file. So what I can do here, if you do git status, git status, because every time whenever you do some updates or anything, you have to check the status of the any files or directories inside the project folder. Okay, inside the project folder. So once you do the status here, what it says on the branch master. Okay, on the branch master on tracked file is main balance.java file. This is on tracked, so it is asking you to track it. Because now it is in the edited mode of a tracked file, so we have to untracked file, we have to make it in the staging staged stage. That is your tracking file. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to use git add. We have to add into the staging stage, otherwise it's called staged environment. Okay, so for staged, if you send it, what you have to do, simply you can add git add. You can give the file name itself, main balance, if you're single file. If you are doing multiple, you can just give dot git add dot. Okay, so what it will do, it will just, the file will have its original line. That means it's just added. Now if you do git status, see, no commits, no, on the branch master changes to committed. So all the files are is now tracked in the staged area. If you want to unstage it, you can use this command git hyphen hyphen cast and the file name. It will again move back to the unstage area. Okay, so now we have into the staged area. So there you can get a questions, how if you are in the staged area, how you can come back to the unstage area. So when we need these things, because whenever you feel like after adding into the stage area, you feel like you have to update something, you forgot or there is a bug. So what you have to do, you have to come back to the unstage area, edit the file and again stage it. Then we are ready to commit. What it says, no commit set, and we are changes to be committed. So we are now ready to commit our changes. So before that, let me show you which branch actually I am in. If you see git branch
Master.
Okay. Why we are master? Actually, you can see here from the line itself we are into the master branch. Okay. From the line itself we are into the master branch. Now, git spelling mistake. Okay, okay, anyway, we don't have any. I'm just checking it. We don't have any branch created, so I'm just checking it if there are any further things we can find it out. Git it should be work with the great branches, but it's not working. One second.
So branches also works,
Yeah, branches should be work.
but usually Linux, na, if you put git branch, it will show the list of branches actually.
Exactly, but why it is not showing that same thing? Normally it should display it.
No, it's showing master other side, na. Oh,
No, no,
git branch.
that is default. That is default showing.
Oh, that is default. Okay, wherever you are, it's showing. Yeah, yeah.
So if you see, normally it says
Right.
the color, any
It's
color.
some color. I think color change something. I think there. Maybe because of that, it's not coming.
Okay, anyway, so you can find it, all right. So it is in the master branch. So we'll check it while we are creating our separate branches. That time I'll show you how we can check it out and how we can list all the branches. So okay, now before that, let me show you one more thing. Here I have collected one information and I'm going to share with you guys. So these things actually, there is a very good cheat sheet available, and that you have to keep handy with you all the time. And this cheat sheet actually, you might have seen the Atlassian, right? Atlassian products, Atlassian company. This company has lots of other products in the market, okay, technical products. So they have actually very good documentation in the Atlassian's one, and you'll find lot more Git documentation if you want to follow that one, and periodically if you want to make it. So here they have given everything, the command related things, what are the things we want to add and see it. So the config user add and add directory and everything, it is a git basics command and undoing command, okay, and the rewriting git commands, git branches. Okay, here see git branch command list all the branches, but here I'm not sure why it is not listing all the branches. But if I do in my Linux branch, Linux, right, git branch, it should, okay, anyway it is a phrase, okay, and we don't have anything done here. This is was the project, right? It's not working. Okay, so grid branch here, git branch, so list all the branches in your repo, add a branch argument and all these informations. So it's the Atlassian, I got it from the Atlassian side. So additional options, everything for git related, more into the config, everything we'll see in details. Don't worry, I'm just giving you a hint about the documentation and the commands. So whatever the commands you are seeing it, you are not going to use all the commands. Very few commands you are going to use it, okay. So the rest of the commands, it will be used whenever it is required, and that you can easily get it and follow these documentations whenever you need it, okay. Now let me just move forward, and we'll follow in our whatever documentations I have prepared, and based on that we'll just go ahead and work in our day, okay. Now we saw how we can get add it and then Okay, don't go for.
Ranjit, where will get this document? I mean, you will share some
I'll share.
link or
I'll
we can get it.
Yeah, I'll share with you after the class. Actually, GitHub class. I'll share the documentation with you. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So now what we did, we have just added one file here, right? And we added it. Now, if you see, you'll be worried, like if you're thinking like who has updated this file. If you want to see it, what you can do, you can simply use Git Log. Okay. Okay, what it says, your current branch master does not have any commit set. So we don't have any commit, so it does not show anything. So what we have to do, we have now added this one. Now let's commit it. Git commit hyphen m. So what I'm going to give a message. I can see first commit. I can say first commit. Okay, anything. What it says, it's just one file change, two insertions, because the file had two lines, two insertions. So now if I do git log, see what it says, this is the commit has id, commit id, too big it is. Okay, and don't worry about this commit id, because we are not going to remember all this commit ids and all, because we are going to work on the tags and tag ids. That time it will be easy to give a tag and versions. Okay, now we can see here the git log and who has updated it. So we'll see who has updated it. Okay, so you can see here whatever you have given while during the configurations. So when we'll do, suppose as Tapana said, right, if new user comes, that is the user has to update the configs by his in his machines, by whatever things, by himself itself. Okay, by himself. So what do you have to do? Simply you have to use, of new user comes, what they have to do, they have to just update the details, his name, his email id and everything he has to update, because that will be recorded while updating into the anything to the code base. Okay, update anything to the. Now, so what we did, we just added one file and then we committed that into our code. So most of the times you will be updating and committing the things. Okay, now next move on how we can do the other things except apart from this commit and all. So as we saw, we can do the status check. What is the status of the file? If you go again and do the status check for the files, what you'll see, find uh, suppose do again git status. See, on branch master nothing to commit, the working tree is clean. That means new files not added. Suppose if you want to create a new file, suppose just create a new file uh, like okay, there is a spelling mistake, but it's okay. So I created another file and let me edit the existing file. Edited the. So what do you do? If you do git status here, git status, what you saw, one file is modified Okay, and the other, this is a new file created. Okay, all are in tracked on tracked stage, means on stage. So what we have to do now, we have to add into the staged stage. What it says, use git add, or you can directly use git commit hyphen a. Both you can, both way you can do, but the way we have to do actually is git add first, git add dot, that means all the files whatever is modified will be now into the test area. So everything is done now. What you have to do, just git commit hyphen m modified files, anything you can give it. Just check the git logs, so you can find it out here which file is modified and which file is the first. This file actually, what happens, if you see here, the first commit and the second is the modifieds. Okay, you can see the logs. If you want to see the specific logs or status, what you can do, you can just do git. Okay, anyway guys, there is a help options actually will be available. If you want to do git help, you'll find all the git command. You don't have to follow anywhere, you have to just simply do git help. That's a very easiest way to get all the documentation related to the git. Okay, so if you go here, you'll find all the git related commands, right? uh, the screen actually too big. Let me go here. If you do git hyphen hyphen help, you'll find a lot more commands here. Okay, see, start working that work add mb suppose sometimes you are working and you forget what commands to use, and you can but you remember that, but you don't know what to use that one, so you can just simply come here and use that one. Suppose you are going to check more details about the log. Okay, so how you'll do, just simply do just git log hyphen hyphen help. What it'll do, it will just give help options for log alone. Okay, just hit enter. See, all the related the log man page displayed. How to use the logs, you can see the symptoms of git logs and all the related options, because we don't, sometimes we don't remember all the options of the particular commands, so you can use this way to find it out. But this is so lengthy to follow these documentations, but we normally don't go for all these, right? So now what we learned about the git logs. Now what if you see, if you go again and we find it out, here one options are there, log, git log one line. It will just give you the display about the commit id. Sorry, here nothing will be there, right? Okay guys, so here it gives only the hash id. See, commit hash id and what are the changes is done. If you want to more details, so you have to just remove this one line and hit logs. So there are more other options also available. Now I'm not going guys, is it okay if I close this window, because it is sometimes irritating, it's not copying properly. It's a problem. I'm just closing this because we know how to work on these windows, right? I'm going to work.
Ranjit, yeah, please go. No issues.
Okay, fine. So let me close this. I'll work on this Linux machines.
So only thing on the other side, na, just increase little font actually, so that way
This
will be
screen
helpful.
is okay, or I need, you need me
This screen fine.
okay, right? Okay.
No font only. Font little.
I'm not sure about this preference.
But a view.
Mhm. Which is 18,
Uh,
24.
24. There, that, yeah. Let it be.
Okay, this should be fine, I think. Okay,
Yeah.
so what we'll do
Yeah,
here,
this is fine.
okay, as we have already initiated this, so we can just create quickly a file, anything. So test or abc dot. Suppose this is I'm going to make a C++ file. Okay, same thing. If I do git status here, it will show me what other things are available. Simply what you do, most of the times guys, you'll be using adding, updating, and you have to do git add dot. Most of the times you'll do git add dot and git commit hyphen m. I can see first commit or whatever it is, first commit. Okay, now it is done. So what happens, we updated, committed everything here. Now our point is we have to store all this into remote repository. We have to store into the remote repository. So how we can store it? Before storing the remote repository, you should have a remote repository created. So that's why I was telling to create one remote repository. So I have already created, suppose, this remote repository created. And if you want to see repositories, just go to my repository here. Here I have few repositories created. Okay, now if you want to create a new repositories here, what you can do, you can just simply go ahead here and create it. Suppose let me just use one or clone one repository which is already exists. Suppose I want to clone this DevOps class. Okay, this DevOps class I want to suppose use it. What I can do, go ahead. So suppose you have already working on a company, okay, in a company, and your company have already few repositories created. So how you have to clone this remote repository to your local repository? It's very simple. Just go to the project, which project you want to clone it. Okay, suppose I want to clone this devops class. Select this one, and you can see this side like one code options will be there. What you have to do, just copy this button. Okay, copy this button, and also you can see it here, the master branch is the master branch. Okay, what we can do, just go and copy it, come to your environment or local machine, either Windows or Unix. Simply you have to do git clone, okay, and the repository name. Okay, so hit enter. See what it did, it just cloned it. It simply git clone and the repository name. So DevOps class dot git is the repository. So what we did, we just cloned it. Now what we have to do, if you want to do, just check git status here, git status. So everything actually okay. What we did, we created cloned into this ABC project. Okay, we cloned into this ABC project. That's fine. We have a repository is called DevOps class. Okay, so if you want to work on that, you have to go to this DevOps class, and here you can see all these files are available, and the .git files also will be available in this repository, because this is DevOps class is a repository, now is a remote repository, and we cloned it to our local. So this is the master branch. Okay, now if I do git branch here, it should okay, it is working. See, if you see here the git branch, if I do git branch, it says only master branch we have. Okay, only the master branch. Now if I do here some changes, if I let me check git status, everything is clean, nothing is going to do. If I want to do suppose any modifications, suppose my test.class. See guys, whatever I'm doing, this everything will do in DevOps class of Jenkins. Okay, when we learn the Jenkins, every time we have to update and use git to update the automations file like Jenkins file and the script files, and then update into the repositories, and then Jenkins will get it that and build it. Okay, so every time so we have to use in this way, we have to clone it and we have to update it and then push into the remote repository. So this is the common thing whatever we are going to do, I'll show you. Apart from that, what are the real times we are going to the into the companies and working, that I'll just show you. And whatever the commands I showed you in the documentations, right, that commands whatever I have prepared will just cover that. Okay, that commands, but I will share the cheat sheet with you. Okay, this cheat sheet I'll share with you, and you'll just have it handy and go through if you want anything to know about that. But most of the commands I'll cover it. There are lots of other options. Suppose if you think about the git log, there are many other options available. I would suggest you just go, if you want to do practice, you can just use these options and do and check how the outputs you are fetching it. Okay, we are not going to do that one because it will waste our time to cover other classes. Okay, now what we did, we cloned our, see this is what I did, we cloned our repositories. Okay, now we cloned our repositories. Let's create a branch. First we have to create a branch. Other what we did, suppose here we are into the git, if you do git branch, we are into the master branch, we are into the master.
Ranjit,
Yes.
during creation of this what I mean repository in that GitHub,
Mhm.
it's not allowing, like it's not, it will not ask any password and user some directly, it will allow to load into that GitHub, right, from the Git.
Yeah, that's a good question, but it depends on the what type of repository you are using. If you are using a public repository, it will not ask you user ID password. But if you are using private repositories, it will ask for user ID and password. It will ask for user ID and password. I'll show you when I'll push into the remote repository. I'll show you. See, that's why I will show you in the two ways, both command line as well as the GUI one. Okay, both Git and GitHub I'll show you, but the same functionality are the same, but doing the different roles. Okay.
Okay, and in company, do we have access to this GitHub or only this command line only? In
Actually,
the
mostly GitHub only. You'll have both accesses, both Git and GitHub. You'll have both
oh,
accesses,
okay.
Git and GitHub. Because see, people prefer in both way to do. Suppose, we have Windows, right? One example, we have Windows machines. Windows, we are using all kind of tags by clicking the mouse, right? Go here and there. We're just using our mouse and using the GUI you are using. But sometimes in our life, we also use the command prompt, right? We type some commands to execute something, or the PowerShell to write something. Sometimes the folder is not working. If you have to terminate something, you have to use the command prompt, or something you need the command prompt to use it. Similarly, if you're the GitHub, if you are good enough in the GitHub and you are working your project very well, then that's fine. You don't have to use for the Git command itself. But sometimes what happens, the GitHub will be lacking that one, but you need something to do in the command prompt. People who prefer to do command prompt, they'll be very familiar with the command prompts, and they easily git add, edit something, do git add and git commit and all. Okay, but companies will preferring now to move forward to the GitHub page itself. Whatever we are doing it here, everything I'll show you in the GitHub page itself. I am not shown you yet. Once I finish this command line, then I'll move into the things what we can do it here in the GitHub page. Okay, as I told, GitHub page is not a remote repository alone. It also a project management and collaborator. Okay, it collaborates the projects, contributes the projects to different contributors. Okay, so don't get confused, guys, because GitHub works on the Git commands. Whatever the commands we are using now, the same commands will be used in the GitHub. Any questions real time, guys? If you want to,
Ranjit,
yes,
from my local system, if you want to clone, if you see, I have cloned to from GitHub server
yeah.
to my local system here.
Hmm.
I want to clone from my local system. I created a public project in GitHub.
Hmm.
It is totally empty. Now, what I have my desktop, I want to clone it. What means same command means the command will be reverse or how it will be
Okay.
from local system to the GitHub.
Okay, guys, I understand. Let me create a fresh project then and I'll show you how we can, whatever the Siva you are asking, as I understood, you want from a local, whatever you created, you want to clone it to the remote repositories, right?
Yes,
The
yes.
opposite way, whatever I did from, okay, the way whatever you told, I was just able to show you that. So the way what we saw now is from GitHub to the local, from the remote to local we cloned it. Now we are clear how to clone it, right? Now how you create the first project in the GitHub. Okay, sorry, I just exited it one. Okay, 1 second. Okay, now how we'll do that? Okay, suppose I am into my desktop, and here let me create, don't do anything. Okay, leave it. So guys, come here, and in these sections what you have to do. Okay, first let me just show you in this GUI. If you go to the repository sections in the right hand top corner, right, if you go click here, you can see your profile sections, repository, organizations. We'll talk about these organizations and all, right, projects and everything. So go to your repositories. In the repositories, if you want to create a new project, so Siva, it's for you. So if you want to create a new project, what you have to do, you have to simply click here, new repositories, and you can see the owner here, right? The owner is, I have two owners here. One is DevOps Rise, which is my organization. Okay, which is my organization, and this is my account. Suppose I am a company, I am a company, this is my company account, and this DevOps Rise is an organization where you are going to create all the projects. But I'm not showing you this right now. We'll discuss about this organization later. But so far I am just creating a repositories under my account. Okay, so let's create repositories. I can give us like git 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 class. Okay, I can give us
So Ranjit, it is a global name also, no? Because it's checking no,
yes, yes,
availability.
yes, it's checking the availability. It should be globally.
Uh,
If I
mhm.
suppose give Ranjit, it should not be there, I think.
Existing one.
Yeah, Ranjit
Mm.
is after.
Actually, it is under your name, so anyhow it will be unique because when you create your owner, then it will take owner slash that one. So unless you created that repository name, you can create it. Means it will search for your ID.
Exactly, whatever Siva
Suppose
is told is correct.
for
It will be
Oh, okay, okay.
not
Local.
entirely global.
Okay.
It will be global. Not sorry, it's not global. It will be anyway. It is local global
Okay.
to your account. It's not entirely global.
Uh,
It will be to your account.
okay, okay.
Suppose I have created one, suppose DevOps class, right? If I see DevOps class, see this is already exist
Mm-hmm.
on this account. What it says, the repository DevOps class already exists on this account. So we cannot create the same
This
repository on
account.
the same account. So we have to different account. Okay. So suppose I'll just give git class demo. Okay, this is a repository name, and just give a descriptions about that. Here you can choose what type of repository you want. Either you want for public or private. Okay, either you want for public or private, you have to choose it. Suppose if you want private, actually this GitHub also provides free private accounts. You can create private accounts freely. You don't have to pay for anything then. Okay, if you want to go for public, just let's go for public. If you are working on any open source project or anything, if you feel should be public, for public you are going, you can just go for public. For me, let's go for public so far. And here what we can do, you can initialize this repository with add a readme file. So readme file is very important, because whatever you are writing this project, the project entire informations will be there in the readme file. So I added one readme file. If you want to git ignore, we'll discuss about this git ignore and all. So let's add one git ignore also, or if you don't want, remove it. I'll show you when we talk about this git ignore, then we'll add one git ignore file. Next, a license. If any license, if you can if you have, you can just add a license also. So now what you have to do, you have to just click on the create repository. What it says, this will set main branch as the default branch. So when we created and initialized that repository in locally, what it was, it created master, it created master branch, right? But that master branch has now they renamed to the main branch. Why it gave us master branch here? Because if you see here the git versions, I think I'll be using the older versions of the git in my machines. It will be either 2.23 versions, but the versions github we are using will be different, and they have a main branch. Okay, now let's create a repository here.
So Ranjit, if we create it, will come as a main there, or
Yeah, the
in place
branch,
of master.
yeah, you can see here, you can see as main branch. So there is no master branch actually. Earlier it was master branch, but now this updated version they are giving us main branch. Okay, giving us main branch.
Oh.
But in Git, it will be master, right?
It will be master. It is showing us master. So get sometimes you'll get confused actually, which one is the master and the, because while you pushing into the while you are pushing into the remote repository, it will not be exist, because in remote repository it will be it will be main, but you have will be master, right? So while you pushing it, that it will get conflicts and it will throw error, because it will say the branch, main branch or master branch does not exist, or it cannot upload it. So Shiva, what you are asking, like what the way to do that? Why I created this actually? Suppose if your new project comes and you have to create it, first what you have to do, you have to create the repositories in the remote account, and the phrase you are, the way originally we work actually, the thing is you have to clone that account in your local machines. Now I cloned this git class demo in my local account, right? So if I do here in my desktop, you can see here git class demo project, cloned it. Now let me go to this account. So we have only readme file available. This is the readme file available for this project, nothing is there. So this is now my fresh repositories. So what I have to do here, so Siba, whatever you want to do, you can just add the project files into this remote repositories, everything cleanly. What you have to, this is the cleanest way to upload it. It's the cleanest way to upload into the remote repositories. First create a remote repository on your GitHub account, remote repository on your GitHub account, and then clone it to your local repository. Put all the files, any files if you want to. Suppose let me just create some empty files or anything, vi test.txt. first line. So I added one file here. Okay, git, just if you want to see, check it, or otherwise just do git add dot git commit -m. Okay, now I committed. So what I have to do now, if I do git branch, check where we are now. Git branch, it will say main. We are into the main branch, right? Now I want to push this entirely to the remote repository. So what we have to do, we can simply do git push origin. Instead of master, we have to give main. Origin main. Okay, hit enter. See what it does? Just pushing everything. Now it pushed. Okay, if you go the remote repository,
Here there is no URL required to push, right?
sorry,
We are
No,
inside there, so no need.
no
no.
need. Okay.
So you can see here our test.txt file is available here now. So first line,
Yes, got it.
got it, right? So in this way, entirely project file you
Yes.
have to put it and you have to upload into your remote repository. Suppose tomorrow you are going to work. Suppose you are also one of the developer or one of the DevOps engineer, and you have to, what you have to do, guys, listen me what I am doing here and watch carefully. Suppose new resources joined in my organization, and I have to give access to my Git account, and he got the accesses, and he has the repositories access. Normally whatever we don't give access to the account directly, we give access to the organization, and through the organization we work. So let me first show you how to create the organizations. Okay, if you go and see this site, right, in the top corner, if you click, you'll find your organizations, right? Just click on this. Here I have already one organization that's called DevOps Rise. One organization I have created it. Now if you want to create one more organizations, you can go ahead and create one more, hit new organization, and just hit new organization, and see, when you going for organization, they have different plans available, is free plans and team, and for enterprises for free actually they give join for free, they're not charging anything. You can create an organization. What they say, unlimited public private repositories they are now giving. Earlier they are not giving unlimited private, but now they are giving unlimited public and private. Suppose few things, if you feel like should not be private, you should not share with the public. Okay, your own project or the project which you are working initially and later you want to make it public, you can do that one. First you can create the public and then you can change it to private. Sorry, first you can create the private and do the work. Once your applications or project is highlighted or loved by the publics and everything, so then you can make the entire code to public or open source, so any contributor if you want they can add it. Okay, now let me click on the join for free. So I clicked on join for free, and here you have to give your organization account name. This will be the name of your account on GitHub. So my name on account GitHub is Ranjit for GitHub. Similarly your will be giving here. Okay, suppose it will be Ranjit for GitHub. What is this? Achha, sorry, it is giving organization account name. Okay, so organization account name, suppose I can give us DevOps demo. So it is already taken. 1 2 3 4. What?
Because Git is part of DevOps, no? So many people created.
Yeah, it should
So here is the global name.
Here is the global name. Yeah. So organization account. Uh, oops.
Number it will not take.
Okay. So I just created as hello DevOps batch 2. Suppose contact email. You have to give your email ID, and whether you are going for use for personal account or personal account that is run for me, or you are going to use for a business or institutions, you can select it. Okay. And so you have to verify your account by choosing some puzzles. Okay, you have to pick the spiral galaxy. Same puzzle asked me when I created the account organization, and again
For me also same thing. Yes, spiral.
Just now you reset the password, same puzzle as.
oh,
For
Yes.
me, they are asking where is the boat.
okay,
Okay.
I think yes, correct. Then click on the next. I'm not going to create this organization unnecessary. Okay, so this is why you have to create. I'm just showing you. So let's work on the organization which I have already exist. Okay, so
Exist one.
let's go to the organization again. So this way, guys, normally see whatever I'm telling you real time, guys, because if you go some other institutions or people are what they're saying, just giving you the GitHub account, create the repositories, and that's all done. But that's not the way actually the companies work. The companies are very organized. Okay, they don't haphazardly create repositories on any account and use it. No, that's not the way we do it. How we do, we create our organizations, and that organizations we have to create all our repositories. Suppose you have 100 repositories, that will be to the same organizations. What do? You have to put all these repositories into that particular organizations. Okay, so let me do what here. Just go to your organization here, and my organization is here, right? And you can find it all the setups and emails, notifications, everything. You can do all the setups here. If you want to do email setups also, you can do it here. Okay, in my organization sections, if you go here, click the organization. Similar repositories kind of things, you will get it. So here we don't have any repositories, so let's create a new repositories. The same way, see, whatever we saw, right, that I'm creating the new repository, same thing you have to do. Either you can select it, you can select whether in your account you want to create or in an organization, and you have to create in organizations. So okay, the same way, I'm not showing you this how to create it, but the same way you can just go ahead and create the repositories. It's similar, ditto. Okay, whatever we created in our account, in this account, the same things you can create it in the organizations, the same ways. Now what we had done, actually we had created one fresh repositories in my account, and that account, suppose the git class demo, and where we had just cloned and pushed that everything to the remote repositories. Okay, guys, remember, most of the time we'll be using git add, git commit, type an m and some messages. Okay, I'm just giving the command, sorry, and then it will be git push. These three commands entirely will be using in our
Yeah, mostly.
mostly. Okay, these things are mostly. But apart from that, you should know, in case of you need something to do troubleshoot or anything you have to do, you have to use it. So what are those commands we are going to use? Let me show you. Uh, okay, next thing is to create a branch. In my previous diagram, right? Let me just open PowerPoint where I had shown you one Git flow diagram, right? In that, we'll go in that Git flow diagram, and I'll show you what is that. So in this Git flow diagram, right? So we created first main branch now. Okay, we created main branch now. Now what I have to do, how we work actually, we create a branch, develop branch or feature branch. So guys, whatever it is written here, what I have worked or seen, but other companies have a different ways to create it. I think company will be using a different mechanism or different naming convention. It's not the same naming convention everyone has to use. It's not mandatory. It's my company or it's my way to create it. Suppose I created main first. What it does, then main will be your the main branch or the complete branch where everything will be up to date is the first branch. Okay, from there what you have to do, you have to create a feature branch or any develop branch. Suppose you are a developer and you are going to create a develop branch. I am suppose a DevOps engineer or a production support. I want to do some feature kind of changes around to build. What I can do, I just create a feature branch. Or any production issues if you want to create, you can do a hot fix. And then after that, actually what happens, hot fix, and that hot fix will be automatically merged into the, let me show you, create one
Mainline.
yeah, let me just, you'll understand if I do it here itself. Suppose I want to, in the Git class demo, I have already one project here and I want to work. This is my first main project, remote repository created, and this repository we are going to add a new functionality. What we have to do, we have to create a branch first. Guys, listen carefully and watch what I am doing. Okay, see just what you have to do. We have to create a branch. How we will create a branch? Click on this, what it says, find or create a branch. Suppose I want to create a feature branch or developer branch. What I can see, dev slash, okay, this way you have to do slash. You can give a version name 1.2 or 1.2 version you are working, or you can see like dev, uh, suppose any name or any version, any name which is, suppose I am doing, I created my branch, I'm a developer, I created my name. I can just create dev rk, rks or rs, anything, you can just type it here. But let's go with version name dev slash 1.2, dev slash 1.2, and here create branch. Click on this create branch. See, now how many branches I have? Two branches. You can see two branches. If you click it here, now we have main default branches and we have another branch created, dev. Suppose this is dev 1.2, I am working. Suppose Tapan Bhai or Bablu or Shiva, anybody, whoever wants to create another branch, they can just go ahead, and suppose another guy wants to create it, just what we wants to create, from which branch you want to clone it. Suppose, okay, I think if you have some ideas, guys, can anyone tell or guess a person uh, from which branch he should create his own branch and work? From which branch? Main branch or dev branch or any branch? Which branch he should create his own branch and work on that? Any idea? This is a question actually.
Should be it should be main branch because it will be updated one, na? So everything will be there.
No, no, no. It cannot be main because the final commit will be done by main. Suppose you have 3 or 4 people assigned to a specific project, so you create a copy of dev 1, suppose dev 1.2, and on that different people are working. Then you have to create the sub branch from dev 1.2 because those modification in dev 1.2 what we are doing won't be committed in the main branch till you commit everything, means for your release. Once you totally deploy it, then only you will commit to the main. till that time it won't commit to the main, what I believe.
Okay, so guys, whatever Siba told, actually somehow it's okay. Actually, it's actually correct. The thing is, we first time actually project created, everyone has to create a branch from the main, because that is the default and main branch, and no extra branches created from that, because that is the fresh branch. Once the branch is created by the developer might have added new functionalities, new features to his own branch. Okay, and you can create a branch from the developer's branch which he has already created. You have to create a branch from this dev hyphen 1.2. If you think like whatever the guy is working is entirely different than what I am going to work. Suppose he is working in a different module and you don't want to touch his module and you want to create a fresh module from the main. You can go ahead and get it from the main itself. So what you can do, you can clone the main and you can just create a branch from the main. You don't have to create a branch from the dev 1.2. Okay, suppose you are working, both are working the same module, both are working the same module. So suppose I have already created one module called one branch called dev 1.2, and you are my team member and you are working with me and want to work on that. What you can do, you can create a branch which I have already created from dev 1.2, because it has few code I have written it. So it will be, you have to get and
Clone it.
code and work it. No, not clone it. You have to create a branch. Cloning is different and creating a branch is different, right? You don't have to clone.
Cloning is one time. Yeah.
So you have to create a branch again. Suppose how we'll do that, that one. So this is one scenario in the development scenario. Another scenario for this is I called told about the developer scenario. Okay, one developer perspective, but DevOps perspective is totally different. How you will work in the DevOps perspective is, you have to always find the last success build, the last success project, which branch was last succeeded, means the product, whatever the
Main.
project, whatever is written. Suppose that's why I was talking about the feature branch or any test branch or anything. So suppose dev 1.2 is the let me create another branch here. So let me create another branch from main or develop 1.2 or anything. Let's create from the main. So suppose called feature feature 1.3. Sorry, feature spelling mistake. Feature 1.3, create a branch, and I did lots of let me add one more file here. Okay, so how to add one more file here? Just click on this add file button. Guys, every time you have to work on this, be careful and see what I am doing it. Okay, just add file, create new file. Okay, just give a file name here. Suppose I can give as run sheet test, because I'm going to work in dot txt. uh, this is the second file. Okay, so once you write it here, go down and you have to commit the file. So first commit is create runji dot, that's fine. Optional things you have to add it here, the message like first commit of new file. Okay, and then commit directly into the, what I'm going to commit here, commit directly to the feature 1.3 branch, because I created this file from the feature branch. See, in feature. So what I'm going to do, commit in feature 1.3, commit new file. Okay, now if you see, I have chosen feature 1.3 and it has two files. If I select main branch, default branch, it will have only one file. Got it? it has only one file because the new file I added into the feature 1.3. If you go to the dev 1.2 branch, if you go to the dev 1.3, it has also one file because this dev 1.2 created a branch from main itself. Now another,
main branch.
yeah, now another DevOps engineer came and he wants to work on the project, same project, the build project. So what he has to do, he'll just come to this Git class demo, okay, and if you see it here, it first check how many branches we have, three, and which is the stable branch. Stable branch means which is the last succeeded and working copy is the working branches. So that only you have to select. Suppose feature. Let me select the feature. Now I selected the feature branch and it has more files created. What he has to do, he has to create another feature and he can give his name or any versions. Okay, suppose he can give as RKS. Got it. Now see how many branches we have now, four branches, 1.3 on 1.3 is someone will be working, and our case suppose I created myself and I'm working and I want to suppose modify anything. What I have to do, how to edit something. Suppose in this Ranjit test I want to modify, just click the file and you can see guys here one pencil button will be there, right? Just click this edit button and add any changes. I just gave a second line. Okay, after that just give a message, commit changes, done. Right now if you go to this and we can find it here, we have, see, Ranjit test.txt, update Ranjit test.txt. Now if you want to change what other things are updated, just click on this link, click on this. See, you can find the difference here, the git diff, right? I did not show you the git diff. If you want to find any, okay, now we have done lots of changes to this git demo. Okay, I'll show you in the command line later, don't worry. So you can see here I added plus symbol, right? That means it's added one file here. If you have deleted any line, it will give you, or modified any line, it will give you another time. So suppose, let me just quickly modify anything into that. So what I can do here, just simply modify anything into the, so if I modify here, go, okay, so I am into my RKS folder and which file I was modifying, Git test. Okay, so let me add,
Run it.
yeah, let me second line of second file, I just modified this line, third line, added another line. Okay, commit changes. Okay, now if I go here, you can see here update Ranjit. So if we click this, now we can see here, so what you can see, negative is there, right? That means this is modified and added what, second line of second file, and new line added plus one negative in the positive, right? So added minus plus. So in this way the difference you can find it about this one. Okay, now this is one thing. Another thing is, if you want to, suppose this is our main branch, first if you click the repository you will be landed into the main branch and you have to careful which branch you are working. So in main branch we have only one thing. Now we have created many branches here. So this is the real time, guys. Whatever I'm doing, we work in the real time ways. And if you go to the company, they'll directly give you access to the GitHub and they'll tell you to work. And you should know where to work and how to switch over the branches and how to edit the file and how to delete the branches and all. So what you have to do, if you want to, suppose you saw like this tab of 1.2 is not required, I want to delete it. So what you can do, you can see here the branches options available, right? 4 branches. Just click on these branches. You can see here 3 commits to done this RKS. 1 commit is done to this 1.3 and 1.2 nothing. Suppose you want to delete these branches. What you can do, select here, delete options are there, right? Click on the delete. The delete option is done. If you want to restore also, you can restore it. Now my branch is deleted. If I go here, click, we have only 2 branches available. Now, as I told, we always and have to work on the stable branches, and we as a DevOps engineer, we should always see which branch has last succeeded, which branch has last build successfully. That only you have to select and create a branch out of that and start working. Okay, so in this way you have to work it. Now let me show you one more thing. This is the only one thing you saw, and another things, okay, this is all about this GitHub and all. There are many other options available, this pull requests and actually the merging things we have not yet covered, because that once we covered the merging.
So Ranjit,
Yeah.
so shall we wind up after 1 or 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure. 9:30 is almost right. We'll wind up this
Mm-hmm.
call because we have to
Mm-hmm.
log into the office. Okay, I'll just
Just to
wind up.
finish.
Yeah. So, guys, this is what I just show you how to do that. But there are a lot more things we to know, and we'll see how we can edit and merge the files. After that, we'll just move forward and do that. So another 2 to 3 classes, another 2 classes, maybe this Saturday, Sunday, we'll try to finish both Git and GitHub. Okay, we'll not spend more time on that. Will this Saturday or Sunday, we'll try to finish this entire class. Okay. I think it will take another 2 hours to complete. Maybe this Saturday itself will complete it. So guys, this Saturday we'll connect around what 10 o'clock, right? 10 a.m.
10 o'clock. Yeah.
10 a.m. will connect.
Mm.